Hello, welcome to AFSCME's Leadership Academy online video tutorial of AFSCME's Financial Standards Code. This video will serve as an introduction to Article 7 of the Financial Standards Code. We recommend you print out a handout copy of the slides before you start so you can take notes during this presentation. My name is Kathy Gurman. I've been a certified public accountant for 32 years and an AFSCME auditor for 26 plus years. This video is going to cover Article 7 of the Financial Standards Code, Expenditures Documentation. Here are your goals. First of all, we want you to learn the requirements of Article 7 of AFSCME's Financial Standards Code. We want you to understand the requirements of expenditures documentation. And we want you to be able to access other Financial Standards Code videos and a complete copy of the Financial Standards Code. Article 7 of the Financial Standards Code explains the documentation that must be retained by all affiliates to include all receipts and expense reports, bills, and invoices. For every single check that you write, you want a piece of paper to document that check. What makes a payment non-taxable? First of all, in order to be non-taxable, you must have an accountable plan with an expense report on file. You're reimbursing actual expenses and they're non-taxable to the person receiving the reimbursement. We're now going to cover expense reports. Anytime you write a reimbursement check to an officer, a member, or an employee of the affiliate, they are required to submit an expense report. Each expense item being reimbursed must have an original receipt attached and show the date, the amount, and the specific union purpose of that expenditure. Affiliates should require original receipts. If the original receipt is the kind that is going to fade over time, make sure you make a copy of the original receipt to attach to the expense report. You should also always file your expense reports timely. So what is considered to be timely? This varies from affiliate to affiliate. The IRS generally views within 60 days to be timely, so you want to establish a policy at your individual local union that states when expense reports are due. You have to be extremely careful when you're reimbursing meals to officers, members, and employees. You want to make sure that they list the names and union relationships of any persons being entertained and an explanation of the specific union business discussed. If a meal is provided at an executive board or membership meeting, make sure a sign-in sheet is attached to the bill or invoice. Expense reports are also required anytime you pay costs directly. So if an individual is going to a conference or convention and you're paying their hotel bill up front, they still need to record that on their individual expense report. Also, any charges made on a union-owned credit card, you're going to list all of those charges on an expense report. And any payments paid to a travel agency for transportation to conferences or conventions. Very important that all expense reports are approved by someone other than the preparer. So normally what we do is we bring the expense reports to an executive board meeting and they're reviewed and approved by the board or someone on the board. Remember, if I'm the treasurer, I'm not going to approve my own expense report. Also, when you're approving an expense report, you should check the math, make sure all receipts are attached, and verify that the specific union business purpose for each expense being reimbursed is provided. We're now going to cover credit cards. AFSCME strongly recommends against the use of union-owned credit cards. The reason being it circumvents the requirement that two officers sign all disbursements checks. When you have a union-owned credit card, you no longer have two officers signing for the disbursement. Now the officer holding the credit card is able to make unauthorized charges, so you need to be extremely careful. And we also have the case of fraud. May not be fraud by the local officers, but anytime you use a credit card, someone can steal that number, and then you're always having to check the credit card statements and make sure none of the charges are fraudulent. Union-owned credit card holders must document all of the charges to the card before any payments can be made on the card. After all payments are properly documented, you can then write a check for the credit card statement. Online banking is not allowed, so you cannot have the credit card bill paid directly online. You must write a check for those payments. Each credit card charge must be itemized on an expense report to include the following: You want an explanation of the specific union business purpose for each charge. You want the credit card receipt for each charge. And you want the itemized sales slip for each charge. That credit card receipt is only going to give you a total. You need the itemized sales slip, which provides the details of the purchase. We had someone go to the international convention and submitted his credit card receipt for reimbursement. We said, no, we need your hotel folio. And when he presented the hotel folio, he had charged 20 videos to his room. You're only allowed to pay room and tax. That's why it's so important that you look at that itemized sales slip or the hotel folio. Credit card procedures. Any affiliate that has a union-owned credit card needs to establish a credit card policy. One of the things in that policy should state that personal charges are strictly prohibited. You can never make a personal charge on a union-owned credit card. If the affiliate does not have a union-owned credit card and an officer uses their personal credit card for union business purposes, you always reimburse the officer, not that credit card company. It looks very odd to see payments going to a credit card company if you don't have a credit card. Here's a question to test your knowledge. Expense reports are required to document which costs paid directly by the affiliate. Pick the correct answer. A, direct hotel billings. B, charges on union-owned credit cards. C, payments to travel agencies. D, all of the above. The correct answer is D, all of the above. If an officer is attending a convention and their hotel is paid in advance by the affiliate, the daily hotel expense should be included on the officer's expense report, then deducted below. The officer's expense report should account for all expenses incurred by the officer to attend this convention. In summary, here are a few key takeaways on expenditures documentation. Number 1, remember that all expense reports must include the date of each item reimbursed, an original receipt, and the specific union business purpose of the expense. Number 2, make sure all expense reports are approved by someone other than the preparer. Make sure the approver checks the math, and make sure original receipts are attached and the specific union business is provided. Number 3, if an affiliate has a union-owned credit card, all charges must be itemized on an expense report with a credit card receipt, itemized sales slip, and an explanation of the specific union business provided. This video covers only a small portion of what you will learn by attending one of our regular Secretary-Treasurer workshops. Secretary-Treasurer training is highly recommended for all union officers and trustees. You can contact your counsel or an AFSCME International representative to schedule a class in your area. Here are a few helpful resources. First of all, you can go back and look at Article 7 of the Financial Standards Code that we just reviewed. You can also go back and look at the entire Financial Standards Code, all of the articles and appendices, and the Trustee Audit Guide. And there are some frequently asked questions you can review. Thank you for watching our video on Article 7 of the Financial Standards Code on expenditures documentation. If you have any questions, please contact AFSCME's Auditing Department at 202-429-5032.